The following podcast is a part of RadioMisfits.com. The Mr. Nailsin Show, brought to you by the Mr. Nailsin Store. What are the odds? Yes, you can find all kinds of apparel and items such as t-shirts, hats, some mugs, buttons, stickers, posters, all adorned with the lovely art of Mr. Nailsin. Yes, that's right. You need only head over to Zazzle.com/store/the_MR_NAILSIN_store. Yes, it's just that simple. So head over to the Mr. Nailsin store at Zazzle.com and pick up yourself some goodies and help out your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. And now it's time for the Mr. Nailsin Show. Did a giant black dog with red glowing eyes stalk the English countryside? Perhaps, but maybe not. People in Bungay, England know all too well what the creature known as Black Shuck can supposedly do. One bit of town folklore from 1577 says this giant hellhound killed two people who were kneeling in prayer after knocking down the church doors amid a flash of lightning. The ghostly apparition then traveled 12 miles away to Blythe Church, where it killed two more people. The first known written text describing Black Shuck, an Old English term for devil, in England goes back to 1127 in the town of Peterborough. Immediately after the arrival of Abbot Henry of Poitou to the Abbey of Peterborough, there was quite a ruckus. It was the Sunday when they sing a scourge choir holy. Many men both saw and heard a great number of huntsmen hunting. The huntsmen were black, huge and hideous, and rode on black horses and on black he-goats, and their hounds were jet black with eyes like saucers and horrible. This was seen in the very deer park of the town of Peterborough, and in all the woods that stretched from that same town to Stamford. And in the night the monks heard them sounding and winding their horns. Witnesses said that around 20 to 30 of these hellish beings stayed in the area through Lent all the way to Easter, a period of about 50 days. The events of 1127 were also known as a wild hunt, and weren't just an English phenomenon. Stories from across Central, Western, and Northern Europe recount loud, spectral wild hunts throughout untamed lands, and they help maintain the mythological underpinnings of the Black Shuck. Northern cultures associated wild hunts with the change of the seasons from fall into winter, probably because strong, cold winds came blowing over the landscape and forced people indoors. Anyone who didn't make it inside during the winter could freeze to death. Interpreting howling winds as a pack of hunters would thus make sense. People were mythologizing their surroundings as a way to warn people to stay indoors. Winds aren't nearly as scary as a pack of rabid dogs on the hunt, but the outcome could be the same. If someone didn't flee from the Black Shuck, they could be killed. Particularly in England, when the winds would come howling in from the sea, there were stories of black hellhounds in more than a dozen areas. These include Suffolk, Norfolk, East Anglia, Lancashire, Yorkshire, Staffordshire, Lincolnshire, and Leicestershire. Or Leicestershire, I forget which. Anyone who saw a Black Shuck described a large dog with black mangy fur. These dogs would supposedly be larger than normal, and some even as big as a horse. They were foaming at the mouth as if deranged, rabid, or ravenously focused on hunting for their next meal. According to one description published in 1901, it said, "He takes the form of a huge black dog and prowls along dark lanes and lonesome field footpaths, where, although his howling makes the hearer's blood run cold, his footfalls make no sound. But such an encounter might bring you the worst of luck. It is even said that to meet him is to be warned that your death will occur before the end of the year. So you will do well to shut your eyes if you hear him howling. Shut them, even if you are uncertain whether it is the dog fiend or the voice of the wind you hear. You may perhaps doubt his existence and, like other learned folks, tell us that his story is nothing but the old Scandinavian myth of the Black Hound of Odin, brought to us by the Vikings. And in addition to that tale, perhaps the most distinctive characteristic of the Black Shuck was its eyes, red and big as saucers. Furthermore, these hellhounds were always said to appear suddenly and without warning, then disappear as quickly as they'd arrived. And if you did catch a glimpse of one, it was believed to be either a protective spirit, according to modern form, or a portent of death, a family guardian watching over everyone, or a warning of certain doom. No wonder people feared the Black Shuck. Of course, the Black Shuck was scary because of more than just its appearance. Stories of the creature in action reveal the true depths of its terror. In the most famous story of a Black Shuck appearance, Reverend Abraham Fleming of Bungay wrote a terrifying account of a hellhound's attack on the church in 1577 in his essay, A Strange and Terrible Wonder. This black dog, or the devil in such a linesis, God, he knoweth all who worketh all, running all along down the body of the church with great swiftness and incredible haste among the people. In a visible form and shape passed between two persons as they were kneeling upon their knees and occupied in prayer, as it seemed, wrung the necks of them both at one instant clean backward, insomuch that even at a moment where they kneeled, they strangely died. As the accounts of more recent Black Shuck sightings, one man in 1905 claimed that a black dog turned into a donkey and then vanished a few heartbeats later. One 4-year-old girl during World War II encountered a large black dog that walked from her window around her bed, made eye contact with those famous red eyes, and then vanished before reaching the door. She didn't sleep well that night. A 10-year-old boy wrote in 1974 about an encounter he'd had when he was 6. He said he saw a black animal with yellow eyes galloping towards him at night. After he screamed for his mother, she said it was merely a reflection of a car's headlights from outside his window. The boy read a story about a haunted council house and a black dog spirit, and then became convinced that his original account of a giant black dog was, in fact, the truth. In actuality, sightings of hellhounds or other demonic figures and acts are often inspired by fearsome weather phenomena. For example, the sightings in Bungay are often attributed to massive thunderstorms that cause buildings to collapse. Lightning strikes might burn wooden structures or at least cause a few stones to fall from stone churches, which could be seen as the devil's work. During the Black Shuck sighting in Blytheburg in 1577, the steeple at Holy Trinity Church collapsed one night in a terrible storm. There were also scorch marks left on the north door. They're still there today. Rather than take the storm simply as a storm, some saw the destruction and resulting deaths of 2 people as the work of the devil. As for the devil's work, some believe that the reported Black Shuck sighting surrounding the steeple collapse in Blytheburg spread so much and stuck in people's minds because of the Reformation that was sweeping through Europe at the time. The Catholic Church may have been trying to scare people into staying with their church. Additionally, stories of a scary black dog could also have spread as a way to teach lessons. Parents may have used stories of the Black Shuck to keep people out of certain rooms in the house or to stay away from strange dogs. News of a giant dog skeleton unearthed near an abbey in Nailsin, South Bungay in Suffolk, in 2013 gave the legend of the Black Shuck new life in the present day. The skeleton was reported to belong to a 7-foot, 200-pound male dog. Nevertheless, experts believe it was simply a Great Dane, one of the largest dog breeds in the world. And in the end, perhaps that's all a Black Shuck ever really was. Just a massive dog. Irish Wolfhounds, St. Bernards, Mastiffs, Newfoundlands, and Great Pyrenees are just a few of the dogs that grow to enormous sizes. Big enough, perhaps, to inspire exaggerated myths about hellhounds the size of horses, and myths that survive for hundreds of years. So, was the Black Shuck merely a gust of wind or a bolt of lightning? Or was it the phantom manifestation of the devil? Perhaps, but maybe not. You're listening to the Mr. Nailsin Show here on RadioMisfits.com. The Mr. Nailsin Show is brought to you by, well, me, Sun King. Yes, that's right. And of course, you can enjoy my adventures here on the Mr. Nailsin Show rather regularly. But you can also see my adventures in full color within the pages of my comic book, also called, guess what? Sun King. Yes, that's right. You need only head over to indieplanet.com and search for Sun King, and my comic book can be yours. Don't delay. Order a copy today. Smellog's Poop, the super delicious laxative, presents The Adventures of Sun King. Faster than the speed of light, more powerful than an atomic bomb, able to leap the moon in a single bound.
Up in the sky! It's a comet!
It's a UFO!
No! It's Sun King!
Yes, Sun King. And who, disguised as mild-mannered tabloid reporter Mark Milktit, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
Ah, yes, success. Finally success. And once again, we're free to conquer.
Indeed, Lord Vegas. A pity about Dr. Mausoleum, though.
True, Sepulchre. But his sacrifice was necessary, because the teleportation device that we psychically ordered him to create results in a swapping of the individuals involved, and so he must take our place back in the imprisonment of the wall in orbit of Olympicus. However, the bonus here is that Sun King himself must also take our place in that dire prison that we are now free to conquer his adopted world and begin its new reign of sarcophagus.
As Sarcophagus and his lady friend Sepulchre smash their way out of Liam Mazzo, who is in reality Dr. Mausoleum's apartment, we're left to wonder what's become of Sun King and, of course, the aforementioned Dr. Mausoleum. Well, we have to once again journey to that other dimension outside of our own universe to find the planet Olympicus, around which hangs a structure in its orbit known as the Wall, a prison for their most nefarious villains, two of which were the aforementioned Sarcophagus and Sepulchre, now free to roam and terrorize the planet Earth. But in their place now dwells Sun King and Dr. Mausoleum.
Good Lord. Sun King, what just happened? Well, perhaps I should ask you that question. You're the one who threw the switch on that device that you constructed in your apartment.
Device? The voices pestered me.
Voices?
Pushed me to construct it. I had no idea what it would do, and now I'm here, floating around with you in this strange yet familiar room.
Familiar? You mean to say you believe you've been here before?
Well, this is the place that was in my dreams. I'd been having these recurring dreams, and, dear Lord, yes, I know this place. They put me in here. I was imprisoned in the wall.
The wall?
Wait. Wall. I remember now. I'm Dr. Mausoleum.
Oh, so, you remember all that now.
Yes, and I even remembered you now, Sun King. You took advantage of me and made me into a dullard working at that stupid superhero tabloid.
Now, hold on just a minute. I had nothing to do with your amnesia. And as far as you working at Capes Confidential, well, that was reporter Mark Milktit's idea.
Stop playing me for a fool, Sun King. It's obvious that you are Mark Milktit.
Is it obvious?
Is that how you get your kick, Sun King? Watching me bumble and stumble around in that pathetic identity of Liam Mazzo, all the while you had a front row seat to watch my humiliation.
Now, you cut that out. Now, sure, I thought you were vaguely familiar when I encountered you at Rex Rain's lab and then offered you a job at Capes Confidential, especially since you were instrumental in helping out my sister, Sunshiner, and all that. So, that's about it. I never did dawn on me that you were Dr. Mausoleum. I mean, I figured it out later, but it took a while. But I recognized you in a matter of seconds. Well, yes, that's really embarrassing. I mean, I'm wearing my mask and everything. Do you seriously expect that stupid little mask to hide your real identity? Well, it's worked so far, but look, nevertheless, you and your pals started that whole fight with me in Vegas and everything, and then they left you behind, of course, after I sent them back to the wall with the doorman's key that he gave me and all that. But here we both are stuck here. Yeah, I'm not the one who sent you back here. It was your so-called friends. What friends? I'm guessing sarcophagus. No, mostly colleagues at best, but yes, how could you have known to have me transported here? Wait a minute, no, the voices, it was his voice, that bastard. He took advantage of my weakened state and put me in a trance and hypnotized me into constructing that teleportation device. Well, there you go, Doctor. Now all you gotta do is construct yet another teleportation device to get us back on Earth so we can settle up with sarcophagus. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Damn it, Sun King, how stupid are you? What am I gonna do? Whip up a teleportation device out of my ass? So, with our combined powers, Doctor, we should be able to make use of the materials available here on this place called the wall and construct something of that nature. I mean, you've done it before. Don't be ridiculous, Sun King. These cells were specifically designed to contain superpowered beings like ourselves. Oh, why, we simply can't tear through the wall. What do you mean? What about it? My hand is going right through the wall as if it isn't there. Green snot. My hands are going through it, too. And plus the fact that we're floating around. What the hell's going on? No, I just assumed there was zero gravity here in the cell. No. Something went wrong with the teleportation device. Green snot. You mean to tell me that the teleportation device has left us as something akin to phantoms?
And apt description, Sun King.
No. Who is that? That, Sun King, is the Warden of the Wall, the Doomsayer.
Oh no! What's to become of Sun King? And what about the Earth in the hands of Sarcophagus and Zaplikar? Perhaps we'll find out in the next exciting episode of The Adventures of Sun King.
The Adventures of Sun King is a Nailsin production. All characters and stories are written and performed by me, Douglas Nelson, with music by Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
You know, it's tough out there. You want to meet somebody. You're lonely. You just want that intimate connection with another human being. And then, oh, damn it, it all goes wrong and you don't seal the deal. You can understand being upset, but some things you just should not do. So there's this guy who shot a woman because she refused to have sex with him. Yeah. That's right. 78-year-old man sentenced for shooting woman after she refused sex. Oh, well. So this elderly man will spend 3 decades. Wow, that's like
30 years behind bars for shooting a woman who refused to have sex with her. Well, the DeSoto County District Attorney's Office announced July 31st that a judge sentenced 78-year-old Stephen Robertson to 30 years in the Mississippi Department of Corrections for two counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to prosecutors, the defendant shot a woman in the leg after she refused to get naked and have sex with him. So see, she's refusing the sex and the nudity. So, yeah. Robertson's son reportedly intervened and tried to disarm his father. Authorities said Robertson then fired shots towards his son. What the hell was his son doing there? I mean, maybe he started shooting the woman. They were in another room, and then the son, hey, what the hell's going on? Maybe something like that. Anyway, in a statement, District Attorney Matthew Barton said, at 78 years old, this is effectively a life sentence for Mr. Robertson. Yeah. Who will live the rest of his life in a striped jumpsuit. Oh, they don't have the orange. Looks like he's wearing a yellow thing in his mugshot, but that might just be the jail. But when he goes to prison, it's going to be the old-timey striped jumpsuit. So anyway, our office takes violent crime seriously in DeSoto County. Well, it's your job, isn't it? Anyway, and we will continue to hold offenders fully accountable when they endanger others. So he's getting 30 years. So this, okay, 2 counts of, I thought he had killed the woman, but he shot her in the leg, so she did survive. So there we go. But still, you'd rather not get shot anywhere. And so it just didn't work out between them, I guess. The magic wasn't there. And he was upset about it. He said, look, could you at least just get naked? And no. And, he got one shot off and hit her leg, but had he had time to fire again, well, he did. He shot at his son. His son shows up. No, Dad, no! And then he shot at him. That is a weird thing with the son there, but hopefully the scenario I described is the actual scenario. That, he was in another room and heard the gun go off and rushes in. That's frightening to hear, although you hear a gun go off. But then again, he's thinking, oh no, Dad. And he rushes in and there's this woman on the floor with a bullet hole in her leg. And maybe it's that. Otherwise, were the 3 of them supposed to? Yeah. Anywho, that's it for, the old horny man.
Killing Nailsin news. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin news.
The views and opinions expressed during the Mr. Nailsin Show do not necessarily reflect those held by RadioMisfits.com. So, any complaints and or comments should be sent to @Mr. Nailsin on Twitter, where they will be promptly ignored and or blocked.
Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin news.
remember now. I'm Dr. Mausoleum.
Oh, so, you remember all that now.